We were introduced to Anson Mills, which is a heirloom operation, and they asked us to start planting some of their varieties of heirloom. All they do are heirloom varieties. So we did Carolina Gold rice last year, and then he approached us with some other varieties of turkey wheat that we're standing in today, and chickpeas and some other crops that he wanted grown. 10 to 20 acres on all the varieties of rouge peas, the flint white corn. Heirloom is basically the first of everything. It's the original variety. So this is turkey wheat. It's about 400 years old. It was brought into the Americas by some Amish. The Carolina Gold rice is one of the first varieties brought over into North Carolina and traded with pirates. That's how that seed got here. But this is where all of our genetics started from. You know, these varieties, they've bred them over hundreds of years to get better yields and to have better resilience as far as weather goes. And he is trying not only to sell this and to sell a story, and been very, very successful out in the East Coast with it, but he's also it's very important to him that he protects these old varieties. He's not just doing it for the money. He really believes that we shouldn't lose these old varieties that we had 100 years ago, that there's importance to them. And I agree with him that there is.
Well, the history in it is worth working for. It might not be the easiest wheat. We've had our ups and downs for sure with the weather, it being so tall, all that. And I do believe we've experienced more of that than other normal wheat varieties for this area, because we have other wheats close and theirs weren't doing what ours was doing. So, you know, there's more of a struggle with it, but to be able to save and grow an old heirloom, it's unique and it's neat. But Anson Mills, their website it tells all about all the crops and the seeds that he grows or gets grown for him and produces meals and all that. And he has a lot of stories about how the heirloom varieties were saved, brought over, when, and all that, and what he does to try to save them. And it's very interesting. That would be my fun fact. Go to his website, read about these unique crops, and learn from that.
Well, none of the heirloom varieties so far that we have planted respond to fertilizer. And that makes sense because they didn't have it when these crops were growing in the past. So they don't respond well to fertilizer. They are resilient as far as weather seems to go. This has been blowed down multiple times and has basically stood back up. So there's some characteristics here that I think that it may perform better than what our new varieties do. You know, I think there's an importance to heirloom. Everybody, you know what, only thing I ever heard about heirloom was heirloom tomatoes. Everybody talks about heirloom tomatoes, but nobody talks about the heirloom varieties that we developed, the seed that we're using today. And I think there's knowledge to be learned from continuing to plant some of these, or all of these heirloom varieties, and to see the differences. As far as Anson Mills goes, they feel like that they get a better quality and a better flavor in the products that they're making using heirloom. Well, I think the biggest thing everybody should know, if you're going to plant heirloom varieties, don't expect big yields. This is not going to produce what wheat that you can go to your co-op and purchase is going to produce. Same with any other variety of heirloom that we've planted so far. There's a premium for that product. So we do okay with it because of the premium, but we don't expect big yields out of it. The quantity, I think, is what we've bred, and I think that's what Glenn sees as a loss in the heirloom is yeah, we didn't have the quantity, but maybe we had better quality.